In the service of ire.
Welcome back. We are in our third best of 3, but before we get into that, we'll remind you of the last results. We had Curious really crushing Mini there, the STX Soul player, not looking up to par in this best of 3.
Yeah, not today. Curious able to advance to Codes once more. Mini will have to play the up and downs. Here are the results. Just stays in Codes. Mini next week will have to play again.
Yep, and it's going to be such a tough group for him.
It always is. Up and downs. It's of course the chance that you have. It's the extra chance that you get because you were successful in the first round of Code A, so you have another shot at Codes, but it's just really difficult. And even if you lose in the up and downs, keep in mind guys, you don't drop down to Code B, you will play another season of Code A. That's why the first round of Code A is actually so important, because this is the only thing that can just basically throw you back into Code B, where you have to play another qualifier tournament in order to get into the GSL.
And, you know, when you lose in the up and downs, you do go to that scary danger day. You do get into that really stressful moment where, you know, careers are ended in those Code A matches. So, game number 1, though, between these next two players is going to be on Cloud Kingdom. And the players we talked about before, it's 8th Team Terminator up against TSL Polt.
The Terminator certainly looks the part, and Polt, on the other hand, he wants to avenge his teammate. Shine last week fell to Terminator, the Protoss player from Casper's 8th team. And Terminator so far had to face 2 Zergs, and he had to face Suoshin and Shine. So this is the first Terran that he has to face in the GSL.
I expect we'll see aggressive play out of Terminator. Not just because his name is Terminator, but because he knows he's facing a big-time veteran here.
Of course they've seen aggressive play, Wolf. He's the Terminator after all.
Polt can be really scary as an aggressor himself. In this matchup, he either plays factory-based play with early siege tanks, or normally he goes into that 2 medevac pressure into play in the late game.
Which Terminator movie did you like the most?
The original.
Okay, I love Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 is really good though.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Terminator 2, I was more excited than I was for Terminator 1, because I was like, yes, there's another one, oh my god, but still like the first one the best, I guess.
The game is about to start, guys. Polt against the Terminator. It is on, well, the first map is Cloud Kingdom, so we are heading into the match right away. It's the GSL Code A, the 3rd round. Games are casted by Colin Wolf today. To the bottom left, we have the machine sent from the future. He took out Suoshin, he took down Shine. Will he prevail against his Terran opponent today? He is!
8th Team Terminator.
If you're talking about a robot that has been built in the future and sent back in time to kill the ESF players, it would be Rain. So I'm not quite sure, they kind of share... They mixed up the names, I think.
Maybe so.
His opponent starts at the top right. One of the few Terran players in the TSL team. He is.
GSL Polt.
Yeah, that's right. John Polt Connor to the top right. Humanity's last hope.
Look at him, man. He's ready. He like gave a half wink there. I don't know if anyone...
He looks a little bit like John Connor there. He looks weak, inexperienced. He's up against a machine.
He has a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Actually, Polt is the veteran in this case.
Yeah, he actually is.
You know, Polt has knocked big players out of tournaments. He won the Super Tournament. Now you can see the winner prediction here highly favors Polt. He's so well known. It's 85% of the fans who voted in the winner prediction vote for him here. And speaking of which, we need to get more people voting than that. So go and check out the winner prediction every time there is a match that day. Tell GOM who you think is going to win. We'll pop it up on screen. And Terminator so far is going to be he's going to be gasless here.
Yep. Just started mining gas a second ago. And to the top right, we have Polt without refinery. He wants to go 1 barracks into expand.
I said the name's completely wrong. I don't know why I did that.
Oh, nobody noticed.
I was like, wait a minute. Something's not right here.
Don't worry. Everyone's fine except you made a few pencil pushers happy.
Yeah.
Sitting at home.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What did he say? That's not right. Polt doesn't even know who is a Terran player. What? He doesn't even know Polt. Oh, wow. Well, at this point, Terminator did make the Zealot, so he's going to poke a little bit with that. eBay block will be an annoyance for him, especially because he doesn't see it right now. Because when you have the Zealot out, you can actually stop the eBay block decently well, but if you don't see it, the opposite is what happens.
That's perfect timing for Polt. That's exactly what you want to do. On the other hand, it's always scary if you piss off the Terminator.
Yeah.
Can you actually do that?
Well,
he doesn't really have emotions.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Not so much. Well, if I were in this case, I'd be angry.
Yeah. You have emotions, you would be, but
that's happened to me a lot of times.
He doesn't even blink. No, look at his face at the bottom.
He's not too concerned. 2 barracks going up for Polt back at home. A very common follow-up. He'll add his gas very soon as well here. And just look at how long this Nexus has been delayed for.
It's crazy, isn't it? It takes an eternity to actually kill it. The second Stalker is already out.
And even still, a few more seconds he needs. No cancel?
Ooh, Polt, that was weird.
He was busy microing against the Zealot, which he did kill, so I guess the trade there is pretty decent. I mean, that was the best possible eBay block he could have hoped for, so, I mean, yeah, he could have gotten the minerals back, but that's still a much better trade for him.
Yeah, I don't know. He should definitely have cancelled it, but in the end, let's see what's going to happen here. We have now finally the Nexus being built, but of course, Polt already has his own command center. Yeah, the Stalkers could run by, but that's something that he doesn't know. And the run by is actually happening because Polt is sending Marines across the map. He wants to go in. Oh, one of the SCVs gets killed, but yeah, Polt wants to get in there and take down Harvesters.
And he'll be able to do so if these Stalkers just continue to pressure like this.
Well, there are none at the expansion, but still, he will be able to do a bit of
the sentry. He's not paying attention.
Oh my god. Did that just happen?
Yeah. And it's not over yet. He's going to lose probes.
The sentry alone is already a big deal, but now he's really losing probes. 1, 2. Oh god. A third one. Can't even warp in right now. This is actually the game ending.
Yeah. He's actually just going to target down like 4 more. Oh my god.
This is insane. He kills the sentry and he takes down 13 Harvesters.
That is actually basically game ending.
The Harvester count now is 30 to 21. Wow.
He's going to be forced to all in from here. Or at the very least take a super risky Nexus or something like that.
He has to take some kind of gamble.
Yeah. This is, I mean...
In a situation like this, you can't play straight up anymore. There's no way. If you try to do it, an opponent like Polt, he will overpower you.
Yeah. He's not going to make any mistakes.
What just happened?
Well, here's what happened. There was a misjudge, I feel, by Terminator when he saw the units in the bunker. He could have run by. You know, he didn't realize, and it takes a lot of time and experience to realize when you don't know how many Marines are in a bunker, to tell if there are 2 or 4 Marines in that bunker. And it was like, he was just like, oh, there's 4 in here. He didn't even think of the possibility that Marines would be coming out. Then he was microing his Zealot while the Marines came in. And he just didn't notice them at all, and they walked all the way up the ramp. You know,
this sometimes happens when you have probes at the natural, but with the engineering bay block that we saw, this expansion was so late, so Terminator didn't have probes on the low ground, that he didn't use a force field was such a big misstep. He should have realized way earlier there are Marines. So Polt finds himself in this brilliant position. Just look at his production tab. It is crazy, guys. You can't see it on screen right now, but it's like 3 times the size of what Terminator is building. There it is. Look at this.
Yeah, and he's going for some insane pressure here.
Yeah.
There's 1 less sentry than there would normally be. He's going to try to hit with Stim. Your Stim is not quite done, though, so he's going to have to wait. But he can actually just walk home. He doesn't have to commit. No. He's being scary here. He's trying to force maybe some extra sentries to be warped in.
Look what he's building. He can't just go for his Viking production, Medivac production right now. He knows that whatever Terminator does, he will be behind. The Harvester count, even with the additional chrono boost that the Cascraft 80 player used, is at 37 against 47. And Polt, of course, has mules.
And Polt can't stick around anymore. There's too many units on the ground for him to face. And we may see Terminator actually try to go for a bust with these 2 Immortals. He's going to be able to hit a time with +1 and 2 Immortals. +1 armor, that is. Yeah, he's adding the gates. He knows. And all that Polt has to do now is defend, and he will win this game. He knows the reason why he pushed out like that was because he was like, all right, you lost Sentry. By the way, if you have a 3rd Nexus, you can't. I will kill it. And if you don't have a 3rd Nexus, then I'm going to have a better economy than you. I'm going to start my 3rd, as you can see on the screen there. And I'm going to just continue my upgrades and be ahead. Terminator, though, is getting a Twilight Council. And it looks like he actually thinks he might be able to play a longer game here. I just don't think that's going to be possible at all.
As soon as the medivacs are out, there is this tool that Polt has to put aggression onto the main base while attacking the 3rd, and he certainly has the army size. It's currently 51 army supply against 31.
He's checking the watchtower with a few Marauders at the front. Sees nothing there, and this 3rd base of Terminator just quite simply doesn't exist. He checks for hidden bases even. And the probe looked like it might have been considering making one, but now it's not going to happen.
Yeah. The upgrade comes, he's going straight into the Templar Archive here. He wants to get Storm.
And that may be the nail in the coffin if Polt decides to really commit to an attack, because that type of tech commitment means that you may have High Templar with or without Storms. It's so much gas. When you get the Colossi out, you feel a little bit safer, because no matter what, the Colossi are going to do damage. You don't have to research an attack for them.
Medivac number 3, number 4 arrives now. They arrive, and now he can go for either a Doom Job or for a straight-up attack.
Right. And he's just going to fight straight up. He picks off the pylon immediately, forces 3 force fields down, and now he can drop into the main. He supply blocked him even for that moment.
Yeah, for a second, Terminator was not able to get any units to warp in anything. And he is still kind of supply blocked, and he builds 2 additional pylons. But this will throw him behind a bit farther. Now we have the 3rd base up for Polt already. He's upgrading into an orbital. Has more and more SCVs. His upgrades are going to +B+2 and the 1st armor upgrade. He's just ahead in every single aspect of the game.
Yeah, his army supply is really going to take a huge lead here as well with all the extra barracks he's already added. He's even adding additional ones now with his 3rd is completely running. He's 20 army supply up at this point, and he's got the mobile army he can use to drop into the main. A little bit surprised he hasn't used this as much as he normally does, but now he's got basically 2 armies that are both stronger than the Terminator's one. And this is going to be potentially game-ending. The Immortals doing a lot of extra damage, but now there's no buffer for them. And I think Terminator is just going to fall over and die here.
Polt is pushing in, and this should be it. Hasta la vista, baby. GG. The Terminator dies in game number 1, and if he doesn't get an upgrade very, very soon, he will be in trouble. Polt with an early lead in game number 1, doesn't make any mistakes, and takes the game.
You know, when you get behind like that, you have to all-in or you have to take a fast 3rd. He did neither. You know, when I saw him getting the Immortals out and add those gates, I was like, oh, this is smart. Okay, he hits with +1 armor on all of his units. He goes out with the Immortals. He tries to bust down Polt. But he didn't attack. He didn't take a 3rd. If he had taken a 3rd, Polt would have punished him there. It shows a little bit of you know, I guess one risk he did take, because normally getting Templar like that is somewhat risky. He was like, well, I'm going to get Templar out. Maybe I get some key storms and get my way back in the game this way, but that doesn't allow him to pressure Polt's 3rd base, which is up for so long. I mean, he got behind and he didn't take any risks, so of course Polt won.
Yeah, the Terminator needs a bit of a software upgrade now. We have him against Polt on Attuned Valley, which is the 2nd map.
And you can see a shot of Dongri Gu back there. He's going to be playing a little bit later on, don't forget.
He's going to play against Roro. This is going to be our last match of the day. Terminator, on the other hand, with a misstep in game number 1, which kind of made it impossible for him to recover, let's be honest about it. If you lose 13 probes and a sentry at this point in time against 5-6 Marines.
At the very least, you got to take a big risk.
Yeah, the game is essentially over, so now I guess we are going to see a different game. Let's see what Polt has in mind for map number 2, Entombed Valley, and what Terminator is going to do here.
He's definitely going to play a little bit safer, I feel, this time. The pressure he's putting on with the Stalkers was really nice, but it distracted him from the real problem, which was the Polt Marine squad that took out a ton of his probes in the Sentry. Terminator 1 game away from the dreaded up and down matches. Polt, on the other hand, wants to get straight back into Kodas. He fell down into the 3rd round. 1 game away. Can he do it? This is the GSL round 3 of Code. Cast by Calder and Wolf.